really breaks my heart. Cause we've been lied to, misled for years, calling out to the most high on this trail of tears. Hiya, 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 hiya.
The title of the lesson is, are we fixing what we broke? Our covenant with the higher. And we go through history, and we, in this church, as Israelites, read it a lot. And we know this now. But how do we look at it? I mean, since we know who we are, we're Israel, and we're tribes, and we're learning, and we're trying to get this understanding. Like, how do we really look at that when we read that? How do we know that covenant that we have? How do we hold that covenant? We got a history of destroying it, of breaking it all the time. How do we know we're not doing that now? How do we know on a daily we're not doing it? How do we keep that in our mind? Because if we got a history of breaking it, and we got a history of walking away from the Father, it had to start somewhere in our ignorance of not knowing. And it's happened a lot of times. We're his chosen ones, and we're going to get into it. I mean, we're going to go over it again because today, as the scripture says, we're stiff-necked and we're stubborn. How many times we got to hear it? If we're his children, he's got to tell it to us that many times. He's got to show us that much times. And every time, all the time he does do it, though, he loves us. He's always looking out for us. Always looking out for us. We were chosen. We have a job to do. And a lot of this, we're going to go to the history of where we're at, to the history of what we've done to him, to the history of like understanding. This is all our book, our history book. We're Yeshaya too. And then we can look at ourselves and look at our history, what we have with the Father, and how we've destroyed the covenant. And now we know we have a covenant with them. Are we still doing it? Are we still busting it up? Or are we keeping it? Ignorantly not doing it again. Not knowing. It's hard. But he chose us to do it. You gotta look at it as this, like if anybody can do it, he knows we can do it. It isn't because of anything than that, like, and he says it, it's in the Word. It's in the Word. Let's get with this commentary, y'all.
Every day, we as a peculiar people in all that we do are working to honor, keep, and restore the covenant that our forefathers were given from the Most High. We have a history of turning our backs on the Father and Him having mercy on us by sending a prophet to turn us back to Him again. And many different times he had mercy on us, and other times he did not spare the rod. We cried out to him, and he would allow us to cry to him for some time, and then he would return to us.
And we got it, and we're going to read it. And we could read it so many times, brothers and sisters, and man, but it kept happening. It kept happening, so let's not be deceived. Let's not be not unaware of what we're doing. It keeps happening. When are we going to stop that? When are we going to be the ones to stop that? And we know what it says generationally to the third or fourth generation. And Elder Gabar was there. He's like, I don't know what generation. I don't know where we're at. I don't know if this is us. But hey, are we going to be a part of that history where we were the ones that didn't keep it and we were the ones that fell off? And we were the ones that couldn't do that job and do that work that he knew we could do? Go ahead, brother.
Now with his proven patience and love and mercy, he sent Christ to teach us the understanding of our errors and how to flawlessly keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. Knowing of our history of stiff neck and stubbornness, are we still turning our back on the Most High? Are we idle to the ignorance of our past unrepentant lives? Let's investigate a bit of our forefathers' history and consider our ways with the Father.
Because that's where we've got to look at it. If we want to learn it, Because if we wanted to learn about something else, we'd be getting deep into knowledge and getting it. And know we hear it a lot. And that's what we do. We get taught it a lot. And how many times have we got to get told? We're his children. And he'll tell us, and he'll keep telling us. And we know that it says generationally, until the third or fourth generation, where we at. Do we even think about that and stick with that, or do we just do what we're supposed to do? And be strong and walk with the Father. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 1. And we hear this many times as Israelites. We hear this. We were told. There's a lot of us that woke up to this, knowing, finding out who we were and who we are. Then what? I'm an Israelite. I got it. I'm with them. It becomes something else. You start looking at it differently. You start looking at it if you walk with the Father, start looking at your walk, like paying attention to that covenant. We have a job that we have to go do in this world. But this covenant, the Israelites, we have work, the Father's work. Yeah, we got a job. Yeah, we got to go earn money, take care of our families. Yeah, we have all that. But this work was given to us. When we wake up in the morning, that's the first work we give to him, we praise him with. Yeah, we got to go work. Yeah, we got to get in our cars. And yeah, we got to do all that. But this work, we got to look at it as like that. That's what we got to look at it as. Are there going to be good days? Are there going to be bad days? Are we going to be tried? All these going to happen? Yeah. But this is our work. And I just know that the further we get down, the more we are with each other, we start getting this true understanding of who we are. Deeper than when obviously we've been failing. I just pray in the Most High that we are part of the ones that complete that part of it. We're that generation that does it for him. Let's get it out.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 1. And the Most High said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables which thou breakest.
And he broke them because he was mad. Moses got mad. He threw him, he was mad. We don't get mad. We don't have emotions. Moses was showing it right there. Moses got mad. But the Father was still with us. He still was with us. Keep going, brother.
Verse 2. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount.
So when we're getting this again, early in the morning, that's how we got to operate to the Most High. Early in the morning, the first thing we do. If he's giving it to us like that, those covenants, that's how we got to be. First thing in the morning, with him, right away. He gets it. We're being shown, brothers and sisters. First thing in the morning, the Most High. For anything. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount, neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount.
Now he's giving orders and instructions on how to do this. He's giving them instructions. He's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, this is how you're going to get it done. We have orders and instructions how to be in order with him too, to dwell with him. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. And he hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning,
listening to what he's told him. Go ahead.
And went up unto the Mount Sinai, as the Most High had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tables of stone. And the Most High descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Most High. And the Most High passed by before him, and proclaimed the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth. Verse 7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgressions and sin, and that will be by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the children's children, unto the 3rd and to the 4th generation. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth.
Because now we're about to receive everything, and Moses is sweating because he knows how we are. He knows the people. He knows how we are. And when those tablets were taken up, the Most High's hand, the one who put that tablets to work and put that on there. He's the one that wrote that on there. We didn't write nothing. We had nothing to do with them words. We had nothing to do with, litigate with the Father, try to tell him, what about this? Nah. We can't change anything that he says. His word stays bound. It's bound. When them tablets are written, we can. And we're going to get this understanding of who we are. We can. Any other nation has nothing to do with them. We know it. We keep hearing this a lot, but hey, go ahead, brother.
And bowed his head toward the earth and worshiped. And he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, O YAAYAR, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us.
Go among us so you can see what you're dealing with. Go among us because you can see these people that we're about to make this covenant with. Check us out so you'll know, like we'll know and you'll know we got this. And Most High's like, I'm going to go among you. Moses, okay, let's see. Go ahead, brother.
For it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. And he said, behold, I make a covenant.
Okay, he agreed. This is the Father. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I went amongst you. I looked upon you. I see what you're going to be. He knows us from the beginning. He knows what's in our heart. He knows where we're going to be at from the day we're born to our end. Go ahead, brother.
Before all thy people I would do marvels, such as had not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation, and all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Most High.
So everybody's going to know us. Everybody's going to know who we agreed with. Everybody's going to know this. Now check this part, he says.
For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee.
That I do with thee. It is a terrible thing that I do with thee. Like they're going to, but we agreed to it. Keep going, brother.
Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to thyself.
So, he did all that for us. Those nations knew. This is where we're at. He agreed. He looked at us. He saw us. He's like, okay, yeah, they're stiff-necked. Yeah, I'm going to work with them, though. This is who I chose to make the covenant with. I'm going to do it. Go ahead, brother.
Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
So don't do what the others do in the other land. After I did all this for you. Don't make a covenant with them. Don't follow them. Don't follow their ways. I'm with you. I go before you. Yeah, I accepted you in your stiff neck. Yeah, I accepted you as you are. Moses, I looked at them. I know who they are. But if he looked at us and he went through us amongst us and saw us, then he's probably like, yeah, I think they can do it. They're going to do it. And the other nations saw us too. Go with the commentary out.
Yes, the Father knew we were stubborn, stiff-necked people. That's why Moses asked that he go amongst us. He also knew that we were capable of doing also for his name and glory, that we will always be his. And after so many generations, the tribes would come back to him.
Generationally, we would. 34 generations, but where are we at? Where are we at in this history? Where do we attain? Do we wake up and are we serious with this work? Not our job, this work. We do have to take care of our families. We do have to maintain them. We do have to do that because that's part of it from the beginning. We know that. But we're talking about this covenant now. That's what we're talking about. Go ahead, brother.
So he took us as his chosen and kept working with us to keep the covenant, all the while making examples of us, nations, families, and individuals.
All right, so We just read that the other nations would know. Let's get that book out. And this book, it's called The History of Ancient Israel. And it doesn't go into like who Israel is, but it tells of Israel. And the guy's name is Michael Grant, and the brother's gonna read a couple passages of the paragraphs that this brother wrote about Israel. Go to that first one, the first page out there. Yeah. So we gotta pay attention to the books. Like, they're not trying to describe who Israel is. This guy this is not what this book is about. It's just the history of ancient Israel. So you gotta understand, like, they'll write about us, but they ain't gonna tell who it is. They'll keep that. They'll keep that. Also, they'll put in half-truths and whatever else they want. But thank the Most High with the elders and the lessons that we have in getting understanding, we can see through it. And they're telling us that we know, just like they've always told us we know who we are. Go ahead, brother. And this is what, page 45. This is the history of ancient Israel, page 45. And this, I think this is in the notes that the writer did. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
It has been suggested.
It has been suggested, listen to these words, this is how it always goes. This is how we get it, they talk to us, so we'll be all loosened up and not know what's going on. Go ahead, brother.
That the word Yahweh may come from the same root as etya, the verb, to be in the Northwest Semitic speech. In any case, according to the Northern Elohist historian, thou the tradition may well go back to Moses himself.
So they're suggesting this.
Or at least to a time very close to him.
This is suggested. Nobody ever locked it down on Moses. Nobody never did. This historian, you can check him out, Michael Grant, and see. There's more history too. There's more books that they know.
Yahweh defined himself in terms of this verb. For it is declared that he told the Israelites, etya asher etya.
I am that I am.
Yeah, I am who I am. I am. That is who I am, or I am the one who is.
So they know. If they knew back then who was told, they know who Israel is now. Go ahead, brother.
His essentially unchangeable continuity of existence, that is to say, can be seen at all times, including the present, here and now.
So in other words, then and now the same always. I am that I am. That's what he's trying to explain about the I am that I am. Go ahead, brother. It's continuity of forever. And it's like, I don't quit, I don't stop, I am that I am, and this is the way it is. This man understands that. Go ahead, brother.
There is no need for a divine mythological history like those attached to the gods in whom other people believe.
So, they know. All these other gods, this one is the one, continuity from the beginning to end. You can't lock them in with none of those. You can't put none of them little gods, mythological, sun, moon, stars, any of them. You can't put them with them. This man knows this, he's writing it, but you got to look at him. And like when you look at these books, you got to be able to look at them like that. So we got to take our time with them to digest them, or else we will get lost in it, and we will start looking at these other gods, trying to warn them about them, what he says not to do. Don't make a covenant with them, don't look at them, don't have nothing to do with them. Halloween, whatever. Go ahead, brother.
Because his character is revealed in his action. However, a rival alternative translation is also possible.
So, other people want to twist this up. That's what he's saying. A rival alternative, way of doing or looking at it. Go ahead, brother.
This is because the two perfective and imperfective aspects of the Hebrew language.
So now they're going to say that because the Hebrew language, there's some misunderstanding, or there's another way to look at it, because they didn't understand the Hebrew, and they wanted to make it fit for them, change their way, make it their covenant, make it work for them, just like we do now. Just like we do now. No matter what it is, no matter what God it is, we're going to change it up and twist it up for us. Go ahead, brother.
Which lack the tenses of Indo-European tongues, do not discriminate between past, present, and future.
So the Indo-European tongues go on. Like, sometimes when you go look things up, you got to keep looking and looking and looking and looking and look at it differently. So if you want to look up the Indo-European tongue, if you just do that search right away, and I was trying to search this, it gives so many generic definition breakdowns to be like, this definition means this, the Indo-European means this. Generic. You don't really get an answer. Generic answers. So I'm like, okay, like we have these other methods to look. So I looked in visuals of it. Then the visuals came in it, and then the map came on, and then it gave it. This is Encyclopedia Britannica, and then you'll start getting. So brothers and sisters, when you start looking for these answers, don't just look how we normally look. You can take that Indo-European tongues and language and look at it, but look at where they're at on the map too. And here's what it says, who they are on the map, and then he can keep reading. This is Encyclopedia Britannica, and this just got updated from December of last year to this year. This is an updated Britannica website that they just did, but it started back in 1988, so they kept editing, so this is where it's at to now. Here's what they're saying, who they are, and these are the ones that want to change it to what we're about to read. These are the ones that want to fit it to fit them, to twist it up to what they understand. The Celtics, the Germanic, the Romance, the Slavic, the Baltic, the Albanian, the Greek, the Armenian, the Iranian, the Indo-Aryan. And they'll call them Indo-European, and we're looking at, we can read this and go, we'll go right past it and not even look at it. All Gentiles. And we'll go right past it because we're not going to look and try to figure out what that word is. This is what we got to do. We got to do these things. This is how we get it. We have, well, you know what it is? The more tenacious we get with understanding our word, the more this will just be easy. It'll be nothing. It ain't going to be hidden. Go ahead and read the rest, brother.
Leaving the context to determine the time relation. That is to say, etya, asha, etya may be intended to possess not so much and exclusively present as in future significance.
So now they're changing it up for them, and here we go.
Bearing the meaning, I shall be what I shall be.
That's what they're trying to say. The Indo-Europeans will take it as that instead. So if they were taking it like that instead, that's how we get from, this is history, right? This is a long time history. This is where we're at right now. So if they were getting to that point, and now look where we're at. But we know it's been revealed to us as a people. It's been revealed to us as a people. It isn't, what did they say it was our?
I shall be what I shall be, God.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Yeah.
In other words, will be revealed by his future presence, just as he has granted salvation to the Israelites in the past.
So mythological way of looking at it. They want to put some mythological twist on it. Go ahead.
So he promises them salvation in the days to come.
So they know that the Israelites, that the Most High is with them no matter what, but they want to put the mythological part in it. Go ahead, brother.
The Israelite people, as it goes forward in the future, will be accompanied by his protection and will gain ever deeper knowledge of his purpose.
So, how is that going to happen when they're already changing the history of what it is? Because if they knew and they know that the Father, and we just read it, like all the nations know, it's already being changed. So they're like, let's twist it up to what we need, just like everything else, just like in Constantine, just like when that happened. Let's keep twisting it and hiding it. Look where we're at now. Look where we're at now. Is that it, brother?
No.
Go ahead.
But the mystery inherent in this formulation of an ineffable metaphysical concept cannot be said to have been dispelled.
So, this is what you call some knuckle drop words, and they try to get you twisted up from not understanding. But the mystery inherent in this formulation is of an ineffable, in other words, it ain't going to change no matter what. No matter what happens, it can't change. Metaphysical concept cannot be said to have been dispelled. So in other words, it never happened. It should have never happened. But it did. But it did. So now we understand how they said, they suggested Yahweh, the understanding of Yahweh. We'll get to the other page. This is the page that, so I wanted to get you understanding so you understand how they put the Yahweh inference into the Israelites. Because they said it can't be suggested that Yahweh was with us, or that was who we said the Most High was, and that's how it was. But we know it isn't that. Now we can understand this part of it too, so we start ciphering what this history is about. Go ahead, brother.
These renewals of the covenant.
These renewals of the covenant, because they know. We just read it, brothers and sisters, in our book. Go ahead, brother.
And a revered sanctuary within the promised land itself intensified the Israelites' belief, already stimulated by the Exodus, that they were recipients of Yahweh's special care and committed love, hesed, and receipts of his wrath.
So they put Yahweh in there, we know it's a higher. But he also says what? Back it up afterwards. It says no matter what.
Okay, let's go. It said,
and
a revered sanctuary within the promised land itself intensified the Israelites' belief, already stimulated by the Exodus, that they were recipients of Yahweh's special care and commitment and recipients of his wrath.
So understanding that he took us out of Egypt, understanding that when we were in our passage, understanding his strength, like they knew we would be strong. They knew we had understanding. Keep going, brother.
Whenever they deserved its infliction, that is to say, they were his chosen people.
We were punished. We will be punished. Go ahead. We are his chosen people, but we will be punished.
His holy people, holy to the Most High, dedicated to him and separate, a people dwelling alone, high above all the nations, set apart with a peculiar vocation and a hard, inescapable responsibility.
That's the part where you get to that end.
Read it again.
Yeah, start from, yeah, exactly. So it's in the book. What are we at? Read that.
Set apart with a peculiar vocation.
With a peculiar vocation, a job, a work, the fathers. Go ahead, brother.
And a hard, inescapable.
Inescapable. It don't matter whether you believe it or not, if we're awake or not, or whatever. It's going to happen or what? We're going to get punished. It don't even matter. But now we're awake. Go ahead, brother.
Inescapable responsibility.
That's it. We have an inescapable responsibility. They know. Israelites, they know.
So that's why they give us different tasks.
Right. That's why we could be baseball players. That's why we could be soccer players. That's why we could play football and have all these things and get to that esteem, but never that. And use our strength as that. And use our strength to work in the fields and do the work that they say they can't do. We're strong. Our hand is strong. What you got?
What page is that?
Oh, this one is on page
59.
Sorry, sis. It's page 59. Yeah. I think it's like in the second paragraph down where that starts. Yeah. So, and I know, I'm pretty sure Elder brought this book out in one of the lessons a long time ago, one of those lessons that, one of the dated ones, the Elder brought it out. But we gotta read it and understand it and keep it. The elders give us this understanding so we can keep it going. It isn't the elders to keep. He knows that. We know that. It ain't ours to keep. It's ours to teach. This is the part of the work. Let's go to the book of Psalm, chapter 95, verses 7 through 11. And we'll get some more of this understanding, like, of the old history of this covenant. We read Exodus, we understood it, we know we were given, we know we were chosen, we know we were peculiar, we know he knows we're stubborn, he knows we can do it. What else do we do? Break it again and over again. There's like so much history on it. It was destroying it and coming back and destroying it and coming back and destroying it and coming back. But check it out. Yeshua says, worry about today, this day, one day at a time we get it done. Moses did it like that in the morning. Get up early in the morning, me first. That's how we operate. Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of the Psalms, chapter 95, verse 7. For he is our power, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if ye will hear his voice.
Again, if we will hear his voice again, and there's more precepts on this, that we're always like that, and he's always talking to us. Go ahead, brother.
Harden not your heart, as in the provocation, and as in the day of temptation in the wilderness, when your fathers tempted me, proved me, and saw my work. 40 years long was I grieved with this generation.
He's talking to us, man. He's talking to us again. Go ahead, brother.
With this generation, and said, it is a people that do err in their heart, and they have not known my ways.
Always in our heart. Always in our heart that we err.
Unto whom I swear my wrath, that they shall not enter into my rest.
And we know that they didn't. And we know not all of them entered in. And his word is bond. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't gonna make it. If you're guilty, you're guilty. There ain't no in-betweens, there ain't no, we're guilty, we're guilty. All the other nations do whatever, but if we're guilty, we're guilty. That's just the way it goes. We gotta wake up in the morning and give it to him first. Let's see. Let's get some more, but let's go to the book of Job. Book of Job, chapter 8, verses 20 through 22. And Job had friends, right? And Job was being told things, right? And Job had friends that, were trying to counsel him, talk to him. And these are supposed to be men of the Most High. These are supposed to be understanding of the covenant of the Most High with them. Go ahead, brother. And this is one of Job's friends talked to him.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 20. Behold, God will not cast away perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers.
Which is true.
Till he fill thy mouth with laughing, and thy lips with rejoicing. They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught.
So this brother, his friend, is talking to him, telling him these things. Job's listening to him, but Job knows better because Job understands the covenant. Job knows, like, no matter what you're saying, no matter what I'm going through, I just have to endure this no matter what it is. Even though I've gone through everything, whatever you're saying, wickedness, and he's going to have evil, that don't mean nothing. They were supposed to be like this, praying that Job endures, praying for that brother to have strength. He's going through it. Where's all that lip service and all that stuff doing for him? Nothing. It did nothing for him. Job already knew, and he talked back to them. Go ahead, brother. Let's go down, drop down to the next chapter. It's Job, chapter 9, verse 1. And this is his answer. This is what Job said.
Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with the Most High?
So if you're going to be just with the Most High, that means you're going to try to tell the Most High justice and be in order. And you're going to try to tell him, this isn't right. It don't matter what we're going through. When we get up in our day, when we have that covenant, it don't matter. We're still going to be with him. We got to put that covenant there. It don't matter if your gas is low. It don't matter if you got things going on in your life. It's got to be the Father first. That's the heart. That's the covenant. That's the terrible thing that we got to deal with. Not completely, though, if we endure to the end. And we'll get that. And Yeshua shows us that. Go ahead, brother. Finish that up.
If he will contend with him He cannot answer him one of 1,000.
So no matter how many times you want to go at the Father, you got nothing to say. He cannot answer one of 1,000. Like, you got nothing to say. You got nothing. Why? That covenant we agreed to, that stiff neck we agreed to, that part that we agreed to from our forefathers, whether we know it or not, that's why. But we keep breaking it. Those brothers didn't understand that part. So we're investigating a little bit of this history to know what's going on. Where are we going to be at? Where's our history going to be at with the Father? I do this, I come and I do this, and I'm with the church, and I'm a good man, and this and that, and go back to the simple ways of how they keep the covenant with the Most High. That's not what He told us to keep. That's not how He told us to keep it. That's not the covenant we had with Him. Let's get that commentary out.
The Most High said, if you be found guilty, this is what would happen. His word is bond. We are the ones who harden our hearts to Him. Obviously, we have no word to take up against the Father.
There ain't no lawyer, there ain't nothing going on. You can't peace talk to the Father. You can't stand to Him and haggle with Him. That's done. We made that covenant. He looked at us, He walked through us. Get past that part of it, brothers and sisters. Like, okay, this is just a part of it. This is just a part of the walk. I just got to deal with this. This is the part of it. Get up in the morning, give it to Him, and go. And that day is that day. Today is the day that we deal with Him. And then tomorrow will be another day. But today, Shai says, you got enough today to deal with. That's how that covenant was done in that day. Deal with this day. Get up early in the morning. Give it to the Father first. Then I'll walk with you and deal with you all the way to the end. You got breath, you got life, you got a way. Go ahead, brother.
Moses took blank tablets up to the Father. He wrote the words on the tablets of stone. And Job understood this.
Right. We didn't do nothing. Moses didn't try to say, it sounds better this way or this. Nah. The Most High did it, and it was done, and that covenant was done, and we agreed to it. It's done. Generationally. Now that we understand who we are, go ahead, brother.
Although his friends were in error understanding the covenant, the Father had mercy on them for speaking not His words.
So, when you get to understanding Job, the Most High told him, was like, yeah, all right, I'm going to forgive you, but you go make a sacrifice and ask for Job to pray for you, because now this is what you should have been doing for Job. Praying for him. Now you get the animals, make that sacrifice, and Job's going to pray for you. He's going to show you, because or else I'm going to deal with you. Go ahead, brother.
We all must live what we read and keep asking for genuine repentance from our errors.
So like I said, this covenant, where are we at? Are we paying attention to it every day? Because that's our work. It's something else, like you got to learn that, like when you're walking and understand it as an Israelite, who you are. That's just a part of it. That's just a part of it. It happens, brothers and sisters. The more you hear, the more you get the understanding, the more we're with each other. It's always done through the tribes. That's what He's waiting for. That covenant was done with the tribes, the understanding. If we're looking at, I gotta go to the Bible study. I gotta look at it as what? This is the work. It's just the work. We got it backwards. And we'll have it backwards. Some days we'll be thinking we're right, we're wrong. It's not that. It's not that I have to go. That's just our work first. The job is that. The job is there. How do you think He got that job? The Father. This is what we got to get, brothers and sisters. And I'm saying, we learn this. It isn't just Brother Dom, it is us. We learn this. The more we're in this walk. And we got to be strong with each other. It's us. And we just got to get it to where we can take it, where the generations, maybe that's us. Where's our history? Where's our history at? And be strong with them. and be blessed and endure and help each other and pray. Let's go get some more about us, about who we are. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 42. And this lesson, when I was looking at it and thinking about it, man, it can go on and on and on if we can go back to the history of how we broke our covenant, our with the Father. I mean, I think like a lot of our branches, all of Chicago can teach lessons, Detroit can teach, like, we go on and on and on and on, man, brother, just nonstop. But now we're gonna look at it as why does it keep happening? Where are we at? Are we gonna put the brakes on this? Are we gonna really, really, really look at it? So we're at Isaiah chapter 42, verse 18 through 21.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 42.
Let's talk about us. This is us again.
Verse 18. Hear, ye deaf, and look, ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind? But my servant.
Us. We serve the Father. That's our job. That's the covenant.
Or deaf, as my messenger that I sent. Who is blind as he that is perfect?
Yeah, I took you as you are. I took you as you are. Go ahead.
And blind as the Most High's servant, seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not.
So, we read this all the time about breaking the covenant. We read all this time about what we do in our history. We read it all the time. Seeing many things, observing this, opening our ears, but not really hearing it. When we go out in our car, we know we're Israelites. When we get up in the morning, we know we're Israelites. But we can't take that in pride. We can't take that as in, we're the chosen ones. We got a job to do. We got to be humble. We can't go out there and be like, I was knowledge before you. Oh, you silly man. All that. It ain't even like that. It's not even like that. No. Not even like that. Because if we were that humble and if we understood it, put it that way, if we understood it completely, why would we be breaking the covenant that many times in our history? Why would that happen? It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. And there's like other angles you could look at this, and it just, but there's no way. We gotta be breaking this covenant somewhere. We gotta be not understanding it somewhere. Go ahead and finish it out.
The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake.
So guess what? Shia had to come straighten it out. That's how much he loves us. The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. I'm gonna send my son. Get some understanding. Let's clear this up. Go ahead, brother.
He will magnify the law.
Magnify the law. It's like, all right, he ain't taking it away. He ain't breaking it. He ain't doing like that at all. He's magnifying the law. Go ahead.
And make it honorable.
This is it. So we'll get the understanding and teach other nations. But how are we going to teach them if we ain't got it right? I don't know, I forgot what that other precept is like. We're so wicked, we'll teach the other nations how to be more wicked, with them. I think it's in Jeremiah, I can't remember that precept are. But we're so wicked that the other nations will follow us. Like, we're beyond that now. I can't remember that precept. Let's go to where we know understand now. Yeshaya. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Even he had to come and keep telling us in our stubbornness, and he had to keep showing us, and he had to keep putting it in front of us. We got to be out of order with this covenant somewhere. It's got to be somewhere. So Matthew chapter 5, verse 17.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law. or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Magnify it, get it right. Here it is. I'm gonna live it with you. I'm gonna show you how to do it. You can't point the finger at nobody. You can't murmur against anybody. You can't show any fault at nothing. No weakness, no nothing. I'm in the flesh. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Go ahead, brother.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
All right, hold on. Let's get that in the Strong's, the understanding for jot. You got it, it's right there. It should be first one. Yeah. That should be G2503. Yeah, got it. So, again, we got to be able to look at these words. We got to be able, like, when the elders go to the Zondervan's dictionary, when they go to the concordance, if we want to get understanding, because the elders, like, Yeshua is always talking in parables. We want to get that understanding. If we want to just blow past it, then guess what happens? It would be errors. There's going to be errors. We take our time with this word and take our time with this understanding. This is our job. We'll get paid later. We'll get that later. Nobody else understands it. We'll look at it. They'll look at you like, what? Look at that car you can have. Look at the house you can have, which grows old, but wears out. There'll be another model in 2022. Your 2020 isn't nothing no more. All right, let's see. This is for Jot.
This is G2503.
And you'll understand these words because we understand it in the English. They use it in the English. Go ahead, brother.
This is G2503. Iota, of Hebrew origin, the 10th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Iota, the name of the 8th letter of the Greek alphabet, put figuratively for a very small part of anything.
So
jot.
A jot, right? But it says in the Hebrew alphabet iota. I don't give one iota about what you're saying. I don't give one iota. You hear that in that language. It's Hebrew. They put some more vulgarness behind it. They say they use that iota, they put some more wickedness on it, but I don't care. I'm no iota now. That means I don't have nothing, nothing, no little bit care about what you're talking about. I don't care one iota about what you're saying. What did he say? For verily I say unto you, to heaven and earth passes one jot, nothing, or tittle. Well, let's get that too, for tittle. And that's G2762. G2762.
Okay, G2762. Kiaria, or Kiaria, feminine of a presumed derivative of the base of G2768. Something horn-like that is specifically the apex of a Hebrew letter, figuratively the least particle tittle.
So what he's trying to say there is that little hash mark that you see in the Hebrew and all how we write, that little, nothing of the word's going to be taken care of. Not even that little hash mark out of what we have is going to be taken out of. Those commandments, the laws, the statute, commandments, ain't nothing. I'm not taking nothing away from it. It's all remaining. Don't think I'm coming here to change nothing up. I'm just coming here to clear it up, to magnify it. That's what I'm coming here for. I'm not destroying it. I'm not changing. I'm magnifying it so you'll get it. So let's get the understanding for what the base of G2768 is.
G2768. Karas. From a primary word, the hair of the head, a horn, literally or figuratively horn.
So every hair in your head is counted. Every hair in your head, he knows. We know that. He's letting us know. I mean, Yeshua had to break it down to us like that so we could get understanding. And he still keeps breaking it down to us like, man, he's stubborn, not understanding, error learning. Where are we at?
19.
Verse 19, yeah.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he should be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
So they're looking down, that brother ain't gonna have no part in heaven. Ain't gonna happen. They really want to have nothing to do with him. Like, let's move on to him. He got up early in the morning. He got up early in the morning, give it to the Father first. He got up in the morning, did his work for the Father first. When you were in your father's and mother's house, the first thing you did, if you did your chores first, and you didn't have nothing to do, you did all your work first in the house, you would be left alone. You did your work. And you would get your meals, and you would get some extra, you would be something nice would be there, because you did your work. That's how it is with the Father. We're his children, we're his. Some days you're going to have more work than other days. And that's just the way it is. Let's go to... Let's get the commentary out.
The Most High knew how we were as his chosen people, and because of his love for us and for his glory, he sent Christ to teach us how we have destroyed the law, and that through his life here with us, that is, would be brought to its real stature.
So held to where it needs to be, not how we have it all busted up, not how we have it all, thrown to the side. Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah, so while I'm right here with the bro, I gotta do this first. We gotta maintain our families. Yes, we gotta do all that stuff, but this is first. We read it, brothers and sisters, and we can keep reading it. But we got to know that we're destroying it. Like we're reading our forefathers, right? We're understanding that. And now we're going to have to get to the point where we're examining ourselves. And we're going to get that. Keep going, brother.
That it will be brought to its real stature when he wrote it. Christ went to a great extent with his choice of words for us to comprehend that we must pay attention to the words of the covenant, and that it stands unto the end, which is our Father's decision when that happens.
He's the one that will call it when it ends. He's the one that will complete it. Yeshua don't even know. Go ahead, brother.
Let's look at some of his teachings to examine ourselves and learn whether we are obeying the covenant.
All right. So let's go to Mark chapter 6, verses 30 through 37. And when we read it, when Ak reads it, we're going to take our time with it and really see what's going on. Who's the one that's you got up? I don't know if we get the whole thing yet. So we're gonna read this. Brother's gonna read this, but now, how do we? When we read this, how do we look at it? Do we just read through it? Do we actually try to get a picture of what's going on? Do we try to read, figure out what's going on? Do we place ourselves in this understanding, or do we look at them as the apostles? They're the ones that did this. And when those brothers were their covenant, but no, this is us too. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 6, verse 30. And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Yeshua and told him all things both what they did, what they had done, and what they had taught.
All right. So what do? And the apostles gathered themselves unto Yeshua and told them all things, both what they had done and what they had taught. So what? Look, Father, I did this. I wasn't bad today. Look, Father, I have done this. I have done that. Look, Father, I took the time to teach this brother this and that. Look, Father, I had patience with them. Look, Father, I taught them something today. I taught them something today. Okay. He's watching us. I know you're stubborn. I know my people. I'm looking at you. Is that what it's all about? That's it? Are you going to maintain this all day? Are you going to keep this walk with me all day? Or is it that you just think that little section is going to cover you for the whole day? Keep going, brother.
Verse 31, and he said unto them, come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while.
All right, I know you get it done, and I know you're tired. Come on, let's see. You can take a break? You ready to take a break now? Go ahead, brother.
For there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. And they departed into a desert place by ship privately.
So they tried to go and get some distance from all the people that were trying to get at them to get some understanding. Their work wasn't done. That's the only way they could try to get some peace. They had to go and get away from them. But check out what happens.
And the people saw them departing, and many knew him, and ran afoot thither out of all cities, and outwent them, and came together unto him.
So these people made all these moves to try to get to this word, to get this understanding. They went out of their way to hear this word. They went thither afoot out of all cities and outwent them and came together. So they were going all kinds of ways, making all kinds of ways to get to this word, to get this understanding. Do we do that? Do we go out of our way to get this understanding? Do we got to evaluate that part in us? How we look at it like that? Like, oh no, man, I'm not going to make it today. But it does affect the whole body. It definitely does. Do we have illnesses? Yes. Do we have, things that happen in our families? Yes. But as a whole, as a body, to be in the church, to keep it going to the end, if we need rest, we take rest. But a lot of the time, it's a mental thing. It's in our head. And we'll lose. Because we look at it like this. I just worked 8 hours. I'm not going to go to, I'm just going to take rest because the Bible says to take rest. I can take rest. All right? I'm not going to go to Bible study and I'm just going to take rest. Is your job over with the Most High that day? We got Bible study on Wednesday. We have the Shabbat lessons on Friday nights. We got the Sabbath lessons on Saturday. Is our job done? Like, can't you look at it as, no, I need to lose sleep. I'm gonna lose sleep I'm losing work. Am I losing sleep for my work or am I losing sleep to the Father? Which am I losing sleep for? I need to rest this flesh, or am I gonna go and complete this work today for the Father? By fellowshipping and learning and making a way to get there no matter what it takes me to get there. And brothers and sisters, like I said, all of us learn this. And all of us have to get this understanding. And don't think like, oh, these brothers up here, this, that. We've all been through it. We've all had to go through it. We all had to evaluate. We got to keep evaluating ourselves, our what we're doing. What really is it? What really is slowing me down from, coming and doing this? What is it? Are we being real with the Father? Are we just being a mouthpiece? He's looking at us. Stubborn. I took him. It's not going to be this generation. Keep going, brother.
verse 34. And Christ, when he had came out, saw much people and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things.
So Christ is like, all right, they went all this way, they're going to do all this part, I got to do my part. Being an Israelite, being his part, his walk, that's what it is. We're not regular operating people on this planet, on this earth. We're not. That's not us. And we've been told this. And that's why that world out there that keeps us twisted will do that to us. We'll take that way instead of the Father's way. We won't walk the walk, and we won't get up early and be with him, and we won't maintain him to the end of the day and take this one day and just do it. We won't. We'll tell ourselves we are. But there's got to be something there, brothers and sisters, because if we keep breaking this covenant, what is it? We keep breaking this covenant. We got to be off somewhere. Let's see, what was left on that?
35.
Hold up. All right, yeah, go ahead, we get that.
Verse 35, and when the day was now far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away, that they may go into the country round about, into the villages, and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat.
So they send them away. Send them away. I'm done, man. I'm done for the day. I'm done doing things for them. And what did Yeshua say?
He answered and said unto them, Give ye them to eat.
No, you got to give them something to eat. We're not done. We're not done. And this is when he fed the 5,000. And then later on in Mark, when he fed the abundance of them too, there was more that he fed that they had to actually feed, because they actually took the time to be with them and go out of their way and make a way. And guess what? Yeshua was like, yo, no, I'm going to feed them now. I'm going to take care of them, because they're coming to understand. They're coming to learn. They want to be with me. They want to get this understanding. I don't want them to worry about nothing to eat, because I'm going to take care of them. That's what we do. We're going to take care of them. I'm going to take care of them now. I got them now. Give you them to eat. So when we're making that decision in the morning to go to work, and we're worried about what we're going to eat, we're still going to get fed. And we're still going to have a way. And he's still going to take care of us. We got to do our job, though. They did their job. They came and listened. They earnestly came. They went out of their way. They made a way. Nah. We'll feed them. We'll take care of them. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 9. Because he's looking at us, right? He's trying to see what kind of people we are. What are we willing to do? What are we seeking in our daily when we wake up? Gold, ways, means. He'll give us that. We just saw that. I'm gonna feed you. Stay with me. These people, they went, in the history more than twice. What do we choose? Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 9. And thou, Solomon, my son, know thou the Most High of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind, For the Most High searcheth all hearts, and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever.
So when we get up in the morning, and we're ready to do our work, and we're not seeking him, guess what's going to happen? He knows our hearts, he knows our mind. We get up in the morning, and brothers and sisters, that's why we gotta, if we could just maintain that in our mind, like, first, I'm an Israelite. First, I'm a father. First. The job is there, that's all there. He can give you another one, he can take it away, he can, first him. We gotta be making mistakes somewhere. Us, because he gave this covenant to us. It isn't just the elders, it isn't just the officers, it's us. We gotta be busting it up, making it wrong somewhere. And even then, till then, we still gotta do our part, learn and teach and give it to our other brothers and sisters, even then, on top of that. We gotta be tearing it up, busting it up somewhere, because if we've been breaking it and making it and breaking it and coming back, he's working with us now, he's got you shy, we got no excuse, zero. Nothing. We got no wiggle room to excuse anything. Yeshua came and straightened it all out. Let's get the commentary out.
We have always been watched by the Father, by the Father. But are we seeking to learn from Christ the covenant? Are we attending Bible study? Are we attending the Shabbat Bible studies? Christ feeds 5,000, and then he feeds a multitude. We are shown many times in the precepts that we will be fed and taken care of. Solomon chose something that cannot be held in our hands or in a bank account. He chose wisdom, and the Father knew it was a true choice by examining his heart.
All right. So if the Most High is looking at our heart, and he's looking at this church, and he's looking at how we operate, there's got to be things going on in the body. There's got to be things going on in our home. There's got to be things going on. Like, we got to, man, if we think we're already where we need to be, we're so wrong all the time. We just got to accept that. We're never at the level that we need to be. We're just, why do we have grace? Do we go back to that covenant? I got grace. The only way we're going to wear out that grace covenant is to show them, like, no. No. Because that grace covenant is got a grip. A lot of people. Let's go to Mark chapter 20, verses 20 through 24. Oh, Matthew, sorry. And let's look at what's going on internally. These are the internal things, like, we got to look at ourselves that we're taught. This is some internal things that happen with Christ's circle. And how do we apply that with each other? Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 20. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him.
So the sons of Zebedee, the children of Zebedee, who's that? Who's that? Who's got that? The brothers of Zeal. Anybody got it? Anybody know? James and John? Yes. Go ahead, brother.
Worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, What wilt thou?
This is their mom asking Yeshua for this.
She said unto him, Grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on the right hand and the other on the left hand, on the left, in thy kingdom.
Now listen to this story. Listen to how it goes into it. Like everybody's looking at it one way about what the mother's asking, and watch how it goes. Go ahead, brother.
But Christ answered and said, Ye know not what ye ask. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with?
So we're looking at it as these two brothers saying, yeah, I could do it. Yeah, I can. I'm with that. I'm with you. They don't know what they're asking, but we're looking at it as that. Keep going, brother.
They say unto him, We are able. And he said unto them, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left, it is not mine to give. But it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father.
So Yeshua's like, okay. All right, we're going to come. You want to do this? All right, you'll be baptized. You'll be with me. But that sitting on the right hand, sitting on the left hand side of me, that's my Father's to give. And to do that, that's how we looked at the scripture. Like, that's how these brothers look at it. But check this out. Go to the next precept out.
And when the 10 heard it,
and when the 10 heard it,
they were moved with indignation against the two brethren.
They took up something against their own brothers. They looked at it as, what? How these two brothers, like, these are the apostles. And they took some feelings against their own brothers because they're looking at this saying, what? How are they going to be chosen? What puts them before me? And this is with the apostles, with Yeshua right there. So if that was happening right there, where do we stand? We're working off faith. How far do you think we're off? That's why I'm saying when we self-reflect, we got to look at it like, man, we can be so blind and ignorant. There's got to be more to it. It's got to be more on me. And when the elder brought up that lesson about our feelings and how it works, there's got to be more. There's got to be more because this is happening. Yeshua is right there. They were moved with indignation against the two brethren. What? How could that happen if Yeshua's right there, the teacher, the one who cleared everything up, and they were moved with indignation? And Yeshua is right there. So that's why we got to look at ourselves and be like, hold up, man, there's got to be more to me. I got to work on me. Can't stop working on me. Can't. There's no way. I think there's more than that, right, Art?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But Christ called them unto him and said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them.
So he saw what was going on. He's like, hold up, let me teach you. Why are you acting like this? Go ahead.
But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came, not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many.
Don't put yourself up. I can't put myself up. I'm the Son of Man, I'm Yeshua. How do you think that? How do you know this? What are you doing? He's teaching. So if he's giving it to them right there, we got to think about that to ourselves. Like, man, although it's easier to do it in the body, in the church like this, it got to be like that in the world too. Out them doors at work. Don't take nothing. Don't be out of order with them. Be their servant, because they're always going to look at you and try you. It's going to be some spirit trying to get you to break, some spirit to get you off. It's going to happen. So if we're going to be walking as Yeshua told us to walk, we got to know this and maintain it. But this happened with their own brothers and internally with each other. And Yeshua was there. We got to look at ourselves. We got to do a lot of reflection all the time. And in the morning, as soon as we start our covenant, because we woke up, the Most High gave us another day. First things that are here is, let's covenant. Thank you, Father. Forgive me for my transgressions. Forgive me. Bless my house. Protect my house. Protect my family. Put a hedge around us when I walk out this door. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12, and see what happened with Paul. And in this chapter, man, we can go further and further with Paul, but we're just going to get to this point here.
It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 12. And I thank Christ, our Lord, who have enabled me, for that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry.
So Christ put him in the ministry. He was chosen. He was chosen. Go ahead, brother.
Who was before a blasphemer and a persecutor and injurious, but I obtained mercy because I did it ignorantly in unbelief.
So if Paul was doing that in his ignorance and unbelief, what are we doing ignorantly in our unbelief? We can't have no animosity, no feelings, no nothing towards anybody, zero, nobody. Pray for our enemies. Whatever's going on in the world, it's going to happen. We just read, when the Father calls it to time to end, that's when it ends. Let's get that commentary up.
We all come from various understandings on order of a church and can forget to lead those fleshly ideas and ways we learn from the world.
So we can't bring none of that into this body, this church. Like if we could work on that first, if we can get that first, we can start keeping it in our walk when we get out the door too. All of us, brothers and sisters, had to do this. All of us. It isn't just built. But we know that generationally, if we had been doing it in order, it would have been a lot easier. But that's not where we're at. We got to accept that. When we wake up in the morning, our children, this generation, just accept it. Keep going, brother.
As a body, we must realize all the parts of the covenant.
Not just some of it, not just honoring my mother, my father, not all that, or the basics of it, all of it. We have to learn it. Because obviously, we're breaking it. We're definitely breaking it. Go ahead, brother.
The Father chooses who he chooses, along with ridding those who refuse his works.
So we already saw that with this church alone. Elders gone, people gone, deacons gone. He'll put whoever he wants to put in. We can't have any animosity because there's a lot of ministries in this church. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot to be done. And while we're growing and while we're learning, let's just be humble and hold up and wait and learn. We come from all these other churches and probably our mothers are like, how come you're not doing this for the church? Or you could explain things. I like the way you teach things. How come you're not teaching at the church? How come you're not doing this? What? Indignation. If the elder steps us and taps us, or has us to do something, deacon taps us to do something, officers tap to do something, you're tapped to do something, it's a time. Once we understand that we operate in the Spirit, it's because of the Spirit, it was that time to happen. It was Lamad's time to have the church and bring it to where it was at. And that was that time. And we love that brother. But he's not here. How do we know that he did all that for everybody else's time to be here? We miss him. We pray for that brother. Like we have to, like Job's true friends did, pray for that brother. That's how we got to do it. And all the other brothers and sisters in his body that are gone, that came and went back to the world or whatever, however their understanding is. Keep going, brother.
Also, not having feelings about what happens in the church would mean you do not care.
Yeah, you can have these things and have these feelings. That's a normal thing. Like, man, how come it ain't done like this? Or why aren't we doing it like that? Or time me this and time me that. And it has to be done this way, man. You know what? How come they not did it? Slow down. If you know the history of this church, where it came from to where we're at right now, slow down. It's definitely took traction. It definitely has some growth. Slow down. Work on yourself, because we're looking at that man or the way it's running. And again, not us. Not us. We got to be destroying it somewhere. Keep going, brother.
It just means we must remain patient and keep working on ourselves, allowing the hand of the Father to guide us. The Most High knew what Paul was capable of and had mercy on him from all that he was before.
Just like us, because he knew. He walked through amongst us and saw what we were about, and saw our generations, and saw our line, and now we're here. He walked through and amongst us to see what we're about, to see how we were built. And brothers, this is you look at the tribes, no nations are built like us. And I'm not saying that, we're browbeating and we can box and ball and all. No, that's not us. We were chosen to this covenant, to this first. Do we have all the other gifts that come with it and use them? Yeah. Oh yeah. For his glory. It's always been for the Father's glory. It's always been for him first. Our children. Let's get it, brother. Finish it off.
Let us as a body keep working to learn and restore what we have destroyed in our history with the Father. Shalom.
Shalom. It's got to be like that. We got to be told. We got to tell ourselves that. It's got to be like that. In your walk, if we have new brothers and visitors, anybody here, like, you got to look at it like that. It isn't some random church or something like that. This is totally what it should be from that covenant from the beginning, brothers and sisters. But yeah, any got something to say, sis?
Yeah. So he was in Isaiah 42, and you was talking about that scripture about teaching the wicked, teaching the other nations wicked stuff.
Right.
Is it Jeremiah 2:33?
That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is, sis. I knew it was Jeremiah. Yeah. Two and 33. Oh no, that one. That one's why trimmest thou thy waist, Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? No, you're on it. Yeah, that's what it does go into it. Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. So if we're trimming our ways for love, that means we're giving in to walking and checking out Christmas and giving in and being like, well, I could do this. You're trimming your ways for love of them, not with the Father. And then we teach the wicked ones that it's okay to do that, to go and do these gods, to honor these other gods, do that. Yeah, we are officers. That is it. Yep. The water. Does anybody else got any comments or? All right. To the Father, praise to the higher for this, for His word.
Really breaks my heart. Cause we've been lied to, misled for years. Calling out to the most high on this trail of tears. Higher, higher,